Can you walk us through the moment when you realized beauty wasn't just external, it was a gateway to inner confidence?
Beauty is not just about how you look, but it's also there's a connection between how you feel.
One thing every leader should stop doing.
Stop controlling and start influencing.
What's one thing that you've seen transform most dramatically when someone shows up showing with confidence?
I believe that confidence is self-trust. So when you're saying, I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. and go to the gym, and you do it, like, that's a hit of confidence. Everything changes when you start feeling that inner self-belief.
Best advice you've ever received?
I've received a lot of great advice.
What if the key to unlocking your next level wasn't another goal, but how you show up every single day? Today, I'm sitting down with Gio Vaccaro, beauty industry vet turned executive coach, to talk about confidence, presence, and bold power of reinvention. You're not going to want to miss this. You're going to want to take notes. So let's get right into it. Can style, confidence, and purpose unlock your next chapter? Absolutely, and today's guest proves it. In this episode of More Style, I sit down with Gio Vaccaro, co-founder of Glam Squad and top executive coach. With appearances on Good Morning America, The Today Show, and countless podcasts, Giovanni brings real-world experience and heart-centered wisdom. Whether you're a founder, creative, or leader in transition, this episode is your mirror and your map. Thanks, Gio, for being here today.
Thank you for having me, Celeste.
I appreciate you coming all the way down from Westchester in 2.5 hour traffic.
Who knew it would take this long to get to New York?
Yeah.
I used to live here.
I know. Well, it's Friday, so
Yeah, exactly.
I appreciate you coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So I really want to get into kind of the building blocks of where you're at right now. And, you know, you had such this powerful evolution from being a hairdresser for what, 20 years?
Yeah, 20 years now, but 10 years in the salon world, yeah.
10 years. And then moving into being co-founder of Glam Squad. Can you walk us through the moment when you realized beauty wasn't just external, it was a gateway to inner confidence?
Yeah, so I've been in the beauty industry for 20 years now, and 10 of
Okay.
those years I was in the salon at one of the top salons in the country called Frederick Fekkai, which I'm sure some of your
Yeah.
listeners might know what that is, but prestigious, luxurious, and beautiful. And it was there that I witnessed firsthand how a hairdresser, a hairstylist, just from a few snips of their scissors can really impact someone's life. Like,
Mhm.
impact not only the way that they look, but also how they feel. Like, it was something emotional. There was a transformation that happened. And you can see that just by the way that somebody would walk into the salon and like how they walked out of the salon with this level of confidence and self-assurance. Like,
Mhm.
I've got this, you know? And I mean, you know how it is. You get a beautiful blowout, you get gorgeous makeup, and like there's a difference to it in the way that you move, in the way that you walk, and the way that you talk. And so I kind of found out early on being behind the chair that this is powerful and that beauty is not just about how you look, but it's also there's a connection between how you feel. And now, you know, we've had Glam Squad now for 11 years. Beauty services, thank you. Beauty services, mobile beauty services in the home. So think of it as like the salon coming to you. We're in 15 different cities around the country. And I still hear it from clients all the time. Like they're getting ready for a big presentation, or they have a milestone birthday or something monumental in their life that they're getting ready for. And they just want to look and feel like the best version of them, whatever that is. And that like that confidence boost from what I've seen doesn't stop with women. Like guys want it too. You know, I work with this executive guy who I'm working on his identity and his confidence. That's what we're working on
Mhm.
together. And here's a guy who's really successful, who can afford, you know, any haircut, any suit. And he's been cutting his own hair since COVID. And I'm like, what
Oh,
are you doing?
no.
Like, I get it, 2020 and maybe even 2021. But if it's like 2025 and you're still cutting your own hair, like, not a
Yeah,
good look.
no.
So I had said to him, like, hey, that future version of you, that identity, that powerful, self-assured, confident version of you, are they cutting their own hair, or are they going to a salon and letting a master stylist create this beautiful structure for you, right? And he just got it immediately. He's like, yeah, I'm going to go to the salon. And now he goes to the salon. He has his great haircut. He feels more assured, more
Mhm.
powerful, more present. And it's a lot of times it's in those like really small, sometimes seemingly insignificant choices that we make that lead to massive like confidence transformations.
Yeah. I mean, you're speaking my language. This is what I do for my clients.
I know it's like the same thing, right? You get it.
Yeah. I mean, and the one cool thing is where this kind of like crosses over is, as an image consultant, I'm doing it's very holistic. So
Mhm.
it is the hair, the makeup, it's the
Mm,
grooming, not just the custom suits, not just your colors and style, what best for you.
that's
So
right.
when I imagine, like, I understand what it feels like when you have that great
Yes.
haircut, that great color, that suit on that just makes you feel like,
Mm,
anything is possible.
that's right.
And then you can, go through your day, whatever that looks like, and
Hmm.
just handle your stuff.
Yeah, and it's so powerful that you can actually shift someone's energy. I say it's not vanity, it's energy.
Mm,
Like you're literally recreating and transforming someone's energy just by, for you, it could be clothing or it could be color. For us, it's like just adjusting somebody's length in their hair, going from a long layered style to a bob
mhm.
or waves instead of straight. And now they feel different. And it's really powerful.
Oh, yeah. I mean, after I was very young when I got married and divorced and I chopped off my hair, and I think a lot of women go through
Mhm. Oh,
some
yes.
transition in their
Yes, I've
life
had
where
those
they're just,
clients.
like, drastic. Someone
Yeah.
said, "What did you do?"
Yes,
It
yes,
probably
yes.
wasn't my best look, but
Okay.
it was a symbol.
How short did you go? It
I don't know. I think it was
was like chin length bob?
yeah.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah, not
dramatic.
for my face shape.
Not for
Not good. Everything that I've
Yeah.
always had a rounder face, and it was just, like,
Yeah,
accentuated,
you're
so
like, "I'm doing this anyway. It doesn't
but,
matter."
someone didn't tell me, like, "Maybe you shouldn't
Yeah.
because of your face
Yeah, yeah,
shape."
yeah. They heard change and transformation. They're like, "Let's go for it.
Yeah,
Let's have
so
some fun."
I love that story of your client because I'm sure you see this over and over and
Mm,
over, and it's
mhm.
super powerful. So, I wanna talk about you said you're an executive coach. Is that what you call yourself now?
Yeah, I'm a business and life strategist.
Okay, love it.
Mhm.
So, you've coached top execs and entrepreneurs. What's one thing that you've seen transform most dramatically when someone shows up showing with confidence, like both in style and presence?
So I love the topic of confidence because I feel like when people step into their
Mhm.
confidence, it can mean a couple things, but really for me specifically, when you step into your confidence, it's when you are consistently keeping the promises that you make to yourself. Like when it's like, that's the foundation of it. Okay. So when you're saying, I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. and go to the gym and you do it, like that's a hit of confidence. When you say you're not going to eat the cake at night, that's confidence. When you say you're going to show up for your friend or whoever it is, that's a hit of confidence.
Mm.
It's foundational. So, confidence doesn't only come from the way that you look, or I would say some outward recognition. I believe that confidence is self trust.
Mhm.
So, when you say to yourself and you do the thing that you said you're going to do, even if it's something small, that level of conviction and self assurance, it's like now I believe that I can rely on myself, like, I'm reliable, and that makes me feel really good, and everything changes when you start feeling that inner self-belief. Then when you layer on top of it the style, the clothing,
Yeah.
the taking care of yourself physically and mentally, then you just become unstoppable. Like, that's when you're unstoppable, and that, inner confidence with outer expression, when that's in sync, I think people can completely feel a difference in your presence.
Mm. So small promises to ourselves that we think aren't important,
So
and
good.
every day that we don't keep those promises to ourselves, because it's the foundation is us.
Mhm.
And that that does cut us down. That does allow us not to even trust ourselves.
That's
And
exactly
that,
right.
yeah.
That's exactly right. I mean, think about it. We get into those moments where it's like you say you're going to do something and you don't do it.
Hmm.
You said you're going to wake up early at 6 a.m. and do whatever it is you're going to do, a workout or meditation or reading or journaling, and you don't do it. We think they're small and insignificant, and okay, I'll do it tomorrow, and you keep procrastinating. But fear, in my experience, fear gets created through procrastination, through hesitation. That's when you start becoming more afraid of honestly yourself and the fact that you you aren't committing to the things that you said you were going to. So this is really, really foundational. Like everything stems from, if I keep these promises that I make to myself, then I am going to build my belief in myself and I'm going to trust myself more. If Think about it from a human to human connection.
Yeah.
If you say to me, you're going to do something with me, for me, and you don't do it, I start losing my trust in you.
Yes.
You become less reliable to me. So when you internalize that for yourself, it becomes really, really powerful. And you can really see how when you start doing that consistently over and over again, like you just walk into rooms differently, you lead differently, you come from a different place. It's
Hmm.
really, really interesting.
Yeah. I'm one of my favorite books is The Four Agreements.
Oh, the best.
And your word is
Mm-hmm.
all you
That's right.
have. That's
That's
like
right.
one of the agreements and
It's
keeping
number
your word.
one. Always be impeccable with your word.
Yeah.
The
So
best.
I'll never forget that. That book for me is like instilled in everything that I think we should show up in as humans in any relationship,
Yeah.
that work, family, with ourselves.
Mm.
Yeah. So 100%.
Yeah, I have every single one of my I have a laundry list of books. I'm a big reader.
Yeah.
And I have a laundry list of these I mean back in the day they were called like self-help books.
Yes, I know.
Yes.
We don't call them that
We don't
anymore.
call that anymore. Personal development,
Exactly.
growth-minded books. Yeah. So that is always number one on the list. I've got a laundry list of them, but it's always number one on the list that I think anybody will benefit from reading the Four Agreements. Like,
100%.
and it's so easy, right? It's like
It's an easy
it's an
read.
easy read.
Yeah. But it's powerful.
Wildly powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love that. Thank you for sharing that
Yeah.
story. So you're big on bold moves
Mm.
that align with your mission. Can you share a time where you took a scary risk and how it ended up being a breakthrough?
Yeah. So I was in the salon world for 10 years, and that was really my identity. I was a
Mm.
hairstylist for many years and a successful one. I had built a great book, a great business. I had incredible clients. I was doing 10 to 15 clients a day.
Wow.
And things kind of became really comfortable and really easy.
Mm.
Okay. But I was making great money. I knew early on that I didn't want to be just a hairdresser. And there's nothing wrong with that. But that was not my goal in life. Like I wanted something that I could build from the ground up, something that I had a real mission and vision behind. And what I also knew is that I wanted to like lead teams and I wanted to make a positive impact in people's lives. And so when my business partner and I, my business partner today, we were dreaming up this idea of Glam Squad. Um, I knew like there was a feeling, and like some call it gut, some call it intuition, but like, do you get those feelings, right? Like,
Yes,
do you listen to it when you do?
I have. And there's
Yeah,
also been times when I haven't,
yeah,
and I knew exactly what would happen.
yeah. So when I listen to my intuition,
Hmm.
um, it's usually right. And so I wish I'd listened to it sooner because what it was telling me at this stage was, this is back in 2013. It was telling me that like now's the time, make change, go all in on Glam Squad. This concept of, beauty meets technology, beauty services in the home. It's going to be the next big thing. It's going to be, the future of beauty.
Hmm.
And that's what I was telling myself. But at the same time, this like crazy fear came over me and I would procrastinate for months. I mean, I was 28 years old and I was thinking about, and this is what our brain does, right? It goes to the worst possible scenarios. So I'm like living in Manhattan. I got this great life. And my brain is telling me this thing's gonna fail. You're gonna be like eating out of trash cans in like 6 months. And I was spiraling. And that's all I kept thinking about. Like the what ifs were always negative, and that's a big problem, right? So our brain wants us to like keep us safe, keep us comfortable. And it doesn't want us to thrive, it wants us to survive. Like that's the traditional like 5 million-year-old brain. So what did I do? I had a mentor at the time
Okay.
who was a great friend of mine, very successful guy, stylist as well. And I was like, hey, like I need help here. Like I'm scared. Like, do I make this move? Do I not?
Hmm.
I keep talking this like negative talk to myself. And like, what if this thing fails? And I was not concerned about the failure, but I was concerned, and this is what people do. They get concerned about, like, it's not the fear of failure, it's the fear of what are people gonna think
Mm.
when I fail. And like that ego comes into play. And I was like heavy on the ego at the time. Not anymore. Um, and he said something to me that was so powerful. He was like, Gio, you're always gonna have the skill of being a hairdresser. So like that's never gonna go away. So just know that you have that in you as your toolkit. And like this concept, this idea that you're talking about, it sounds incredible. And like, whether you go for it or not, be comfortable with your decision and know that whatever you do, like, I believe in you and like, you're going to be great no matter what. And it was like that moment that nailed it for me. I'm like, wait, he believes in me. And I didn't believe in myself as much as he believed in me. But sometimes you can borrow someone else's belief until you build your own.
Mm.
And so I went all in and I was like, I'm going to do this. And so I went all in on Glam Squad in 2014. I left this comfortable life of Fakai and the unknown journey of Glam Squad. And when I did that, you know, and you're in those moments and you think that like people are going to be like cheering for you and clapping for you and like, yeah, Gio, you're going to be great. You're awesome. You're a champion. And like, you know, that definitely didn't happen. You know, like my colleagues at the salon, you know, some of them were supportive and that's wonderful and God bless them. But some of them were like, what are you doing? Like, we're going to save this chair for you because you'll be back here in 3 months.
Oh, snap.
Because it's like, you know, most startups fail. Why would yours succeed? People want to go to the salon. They don't want some random person in their house. Like all of that negative chatter was like happening. And I realized, like, first of all, I went all in. Okay. But I realized that in that moment, and I'm glad that I did, was that I didn't need people's permission to follow my dream anymore. And I had that, I needed that for a long time. But I didn't need people's permission to follow my dream. And what we have to realize is that we as people, we don't need their green light to go for greatness. Like greatness happens when you're choosing your calling over comfort and convenience. You don't need the green light from them. Like you give yourself permission. You give yourself the green light. And now, 11 years later, like Glam Squad's in 15 different cities. We've serviced over 250,000 clients. We've got 2,000 beauty professionals. And you know, we're continuing to grow and expand. So if I didn't take that risk, my life today would probably be very different. And so I love seeing when people take that risk, calculated, measured, thoughtful, but like take the risk. It's life changes dramatically. It's so fun.
What if it's not calculated?
Ooh, well, it depends on what it is.
Mm,
It
okay.
depends on what it is.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in like, I don't think you have to have the business plan written out. I don't think you need to have the full strategy because we didn't have it at Glam Squad at all. I mean, we had like, stuff was on paper. We didn't have a program. We did things as they came. Like we weren't ready, but we still launched. So I don't believe in having everything mapped out at all. I think perfection is the enemy of progress for sure.
Yes.
But what I would say is there's got to be some calculation. And it also depends on what stage, or everything is in seasons, right? At 40 years old with 2 kids and a wife, like how my risks are going to be a little bit more calculated than they were when I was 22 years old.
True.
I have different responsibilities now. I'm a different person. I have different people that rely on me. So, but I do believe in having a little bit of that, like, okay, what happens if this? What happens if this?
You know, you said a couple things in all of that that really is if you find your purpose and your passion, right? You don't need someone else to tell you that. That really rang true to me because it's taken me a long time to get where I'm at today. Although I knew this a long time ago, but as an entrepreneur, you know, the valleys, the ups and the downs, the trying this, doing this. Oh, I can't quite see the end. So let me add this, let me add that. And when I just stopped all the noise and when I just sat with myself and I was like, okay, what do I love? What is my purpose? What am I passionate about? Like all of that came, you know, together. And I think sometimes like when we're listening to others who we love and respect and we need a little of that guidance, right? And sometimes when we just shut down and really dive in deep and say, no, you know the answers. Like you know everything.
That's so true. How did you get quiet? What did quiet look like for you? Because there's a lot of noise, there's a lot of chatter, there's a lot of distraction.
Yeah.
But what did getting quiet mean to you?
There's a lot of noise. I think it ended up making me bonkers. Like I was just like,
Yeah.
my head was everywhere.
Yeah.
And I just said, I need to stop. I need to stop listening. Just kind of dial back and like start looking at what do you want to do? And that's like I was a date coach for 3 years.
Right.
And I've been an image consultant for 19. And that was always the foundation of my business, but it got over chattered and overrun. And I was just like, wait, I need to get back to the foundation and the purpose. And then,
Mm,
so I had to kill her. She
yes.
died drastically.
You know what? That it's so powerful when you can
Hmm.
really align your goals, your mission, your purpose with what you do, how you do it, and how you show up. And you're right. Sometimes you're going to try different things in your life that don't align with like where you know you're supposed to go, where
Hmm.
your intuition is telling you. And that's when it becomes powerful because there's a difference between being busy,
Yeah.
right? And then just being like super productive and driving forward on what your mission is. So well
Hmm.
done on making that decision because a lot of people wouldn't, because again, the ego comes into play sometimes too. Like
Right.
if I kill this thing, I started it, like how does that make me look? How does that make me feel? And so
Yeah.
well done for doing that.
I mean, I had a whole nother podcast for 2.5 years, and
It's incredible.
I was like, okay, I built all this, but I got to let it go. So
Yeah.
there was a moment of like, oh, it's a little sad, but
Yeah.
it also felt 100%, on point and true to me. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's
Yeah. So
great.
I love that you mentioned that in your story, because I think there's a lot of people that go through that, and there are a lot that don't listen to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and well, the fear is a terrible dream killer.
It's a bitch. It's a
It's
paralyzing
a
bitch.
terrible dream killer.
Yeah.
And and now I'm more aware of it because it's
Mhm.
not just the fear that I experience, but it's
Yeah.
also working with incredibly successful clients who still have some of the same fears. People will be shocked. You think success, you think money, you think financial success and wealth, you know it, right? You connect with these people and you be incredibly shocked at the types of fears and the types of insecurities and the
Yeah.
types of inner bully, I call it, right? The voice inside of our heads that's telling us all the bad things that we think we are.
Right.
That still exists very, very, very much and very loud in a lot of these people.
Mhm.
And so, but getting close and grounded on what's important to you,
Yeah.
and how you want to show up in the world is the most powerful version of you.
Yeah. I think you really want to better yourself, and constantly, I think as an entrepreneur, personal growth and personal development is a continuous
Hmm.
process to be successful.
That's right.
And it's amazing how I have great clients that's speaking, and they're on panels, and they're in front of media, and now they're authors and TEDx, great. And to hear their story
Mm.
sometimes, or to hear that insecurity, I'm like, I wish I could just be your cheerleader all the
Hmm.
time, and help you see how amazing you are. And
Mm.
that just takes time, I think,
Yeah.
and them to really work on that themselves,
Yeah.
because I wanna help, but I can't do it all,
Yeah.
right?
That's right. That's right.
Here, go to see a Geo.
Bring 'em my way. But you've done it all, which is so cool. You've there's a lot that you've experienced, which is incredible.
Life is not worth living if you don't push yourself, if you don't do
Mm.
adventures, if you don't grow, if you don't ask
That's
questions,
right.
in my opinion. That's just
I share the same opinion.
yeah.
My strong belief is that wasted potential is a sin. Like, I really, really believe that. And I was that. I was somebody who felt insecure, uncertain, and didn't take the risk at certain points in my life. And what I find is that the moments when I've been that have shaped me the most, where I felt like I've been stretched the most, are the moments where I'm like super uncomfortable. It's when I'm uncertain. It's when I'm challenged. It's when I feel like I'm way outside of my comfort zone. And that's what makes me feel like really, really alive. That's when I'm like, oh, this is a growth moment for me, you know? And there's a great quote that I like I've lived by, which is um, you are most powerfully positioned to serve the person that you once were. Okay. You're most powerfully positioned to serve the person you once were. And that's why, for me, this is a moment in my life right now to coach strategically entrepreneurs and leaders who are stuck, who are unfulfilled, or who are uncertain or unclear, and really get them to a place where they can reconnect with clarity, with purpose, with an understanding that they can take like massive action towards their dream life. Like you can design this yourself,
Mhm.
and a lot of people don't realize that. Like, I can I can do this. Like, I am in control of this. You 100% are. And so when people realize that and they realize the power that they have, that's why I do this work. Like, that's what lights me up and fires me up, because you can get people to this place of creating massive momentum in their life, taking action, living their purpose, and loving all of it. So, you know, I think, I've come from this place where I've taken the risk. I see what it's like to go from somebody who's comfortable to somebody who's looking for something bigger in their life. And I want to be able to show people and guide people to their level of greatness. And that's really important to me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that you found your purpose and your passion. You can hear it in your voice. So I think you're in a really good spot to help those people because, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I think the most exciting part about it really is that there's a human connection point to it where you can see somebody's transformation. And we talked about this in the beginning, this like these aren't big monumental moments like that people think. It's like so much of it is just in the everyday small habits and small actions and small wins compounded over time lead to tremendous transformation and
Mm.
results. It's not like one big thing that happens. And when you can literally see somebody change in, I had this client that I just worked with, literally 90 days later, new person, new human.
Oh,
His belief in himself, the way that he shows up to meetings, the way that he shows up to his family, the way that he talks to himself.
mm.
It's incredible. So I love it, and it's my biggest mission right now.
But I'd love to do like a lightning round style.
Let's go for it.
Soul and next level. Okay, what's your power outfit?
Right here. This is it.
Nice.
I love a suit. I love it fitted. I don't care what anybody says. I love a, pair of fresh, clean white sneakers, a
Yes.
great watch, and a nice fitted crew neck with my pocket square.
Yes, I love
That's my
I
power
love this
outfit.
fit on you.
Thank
I think
you.
it matches your personality.
Thank you.
So,
Because I like it like I like a level up, but I like comfort, And I
yeah,
don't want to feel stiff.
you should feel like yourself,
Yes.
but
Best
more,
version of
yeah,
myself.
the best version.
Okay.
Exactly. Okay, go-to mantra on tough days.
Oh, my go-to affirmation is I will act now.
Ooh,
Okay.
powerful.
Yes. And I literally say it to myself every single day because again, small actions compounded over time lead to tremendous results. I believe that. And I've been telling myself that and it's been working. So I'm just going to keep saying it.
Love it. Okay, one thing every leader should stop doing.
Stop controlling and start influencing.
So good. These are good nuggets, guys.
Mm.
Best advice you've ever received.
I've received a lot of great advice. I'm going to go for the Bible on this one.
Okay.
Exodus chapter 4. God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called.
Wow.
And that one is like, that's stuck with me for a really long time. The first time I heard it, I was like, I'm keeping that one. That's a good one.
Love it. Okay. And what's next for you and what's calling you forward?
Ooh, what's next for me? Well, Glam Squad is still growing and expanding, which is very exciting for me. I love building the team. I love seeing where we can go with this brand. And so that's very exciting. I would say what's next for me is I have some great ideas around a book I want to write. I love the podcast concept and idea. But for me, really, it's just the more that I can connect with people and the more that I can help them transform their inner world so that they can be a better version of themselves on the outer world. Um, I can do that with small groups. I can do that with many groups. That's just going to be the next chapter and the next season in my life is really getting people to a place where they can see that they're responsible for the life that they live.
Love that so much.
Thank you.
All right. Where can people find you?
People can find me on Instagram.
Okay.
So Gio Vaccaro. And people can also go to my website, learn a little bit about me at giovaccaro.com. And those are two great places where you can find me.
Awesome. Guys, if you like this episode, hit that subscribe button below and listen and send this to a friend that you think will enjoy this episode. So thank you so much for being on the show today.
Celeste. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Appreciate you too.